Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Nidhi Singh. She's the co-founder and executive editor of CSRlive in India. Nidhi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Devin. I'm very excited to be on your show today.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. We're particularly excited about our new partnership with you, and we're thrilled to be able to take some of your content and share that on our side, and to have you take some of the content that you've created, and to have you take some of our content and share that on yours. We really love what you're doing, and hope that we can see this collaboration blossom. But tell us a little bit about CSRlive.
Well, Devin, CSRlive came into being with the simple thought that, the government of India has made CSR mandatory by law. The law came into effect on 1st of April 2014. So it's been in a little over a year. And what has happened is that companies with a certain amount of turnover now need to spend 2% of their average net profit of the last 3 years as CSR. And this means that there's a lot of money now which is going to be used specifically for community welfare, for social development. And this got us very excited as journalists. The thought that here is some fund dedicated specifically for the good of the country, and how can we make sure through the tool of journalism that it is utilized in the best possible way with the best possible outcome, and it serves genuine grassroots organizations who are actually working to do real good in the country. So that was the core thought behind creating a platform like CSRlive, and well, here it is.
Well, that's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about what you see in the CSR marketplace in India. I think the whole space globally is changing and developing very rapidly. So tell us what you see going on in India today in terms of the involvement of companies in actually doing CSR, and how they're reacting to the new law.
Well, traditionally, Devin, it's been like this, that only some of the biggest corporations in the country are the ones who have been involved probably for decades or more in philanthropic activity, in CSR, as in money separately allocated for the purpose of community development. With the law, what has happened is that now 16,500 companies have come under the mandatory CSR law regime, and they need to spend 2% of their profits for CSR. So this has really changed the landscape. Previously, there was no scrambling amongst the companies to reach out to the people to let them know what they are doing in terms of giving back to the community. But now companies are more interested in putting the news out there. They are working on initiatives, and they are actively making sure that they also communicate it, to the media, to the press. So that's an interesting development, and a lot of conversations are going around about whether the CSR should have been mandatory or not. But in general, all the companies are welcoming it, because they also somewhere understand, based on global practices, that it is something that ultimately gives them return as well. If they have a good standing with the community, then therefore that should result ultimately in further profits for the company.
So give us an example of one of the best programs you've seen so far, and be as specific as you can be.
Well, I was recently speaking with the head of CSR of Vodafone Foundation in India, and I really loved this particular initiative that he shared with me, of how they are using mobile technology to empower rural women to become successful entrepreneurs. So here are these women who have these really amazing skill sets. They create beautiful products, and they want to go out there in the market and sell these products. But the villages are far apart, and the stocks are in different villages. How do they do this? So they enabled their basic mobile devices with a very simple app which allowed them to keep inventory on the phone. So they would be able to know how much stock they have at any point of time, no matter where they are, if they're traveling, and book orders, and and so their business grew, and they're doing very well. And the project worked very successfully in one state in India, and so much so that they are now thinking of replicating it in other states. So these kinds of examples are very inspiring, and just to see that a big company with all their resources and technology and advancement at hand, how they're using it to empower sections of the community. That is the kind of stories that really inspire us.
That's really a great example, Nidhi. How did you become interested in this? What was the tether that brought you to CSR?
Well, Devin, I've been a TV journalist, but in between, I was a part of the sustainability industry in the sense that I used to have a brand where I used to make eco-friendly t-shirts. So I sort of got connected with a lot of people all around India who were creating amazing products which were organic, fair trade, sustainable, ethical. And at the same time, I also came across various organizations, not-for-profit organizations, who are doing amazing work in the country. And one thing that most of these organizations, whether they are for-profit or not-for-profit, is that lack of awareness about what they're doing. They make amazing products, they offer amazing services, they're really helping people in a great way, but nobody knows about them, and there's no way for them to go ahead because they're missing out on more funding which they need to scale up or grow. And when the CSR law came, this was an opportunity for me. The first thought that came into my mind was a concept called Fund My Project, which forms a very important part of CSRlive. And Fund My Project was all about this experience of mine of meeting these amazing people and trying to get a way to put them in a platform where we can get a corporate audience to come and read about them and know the amazing work that they're doing and fund their work through CSR. So that for me is the sort of the root thought that does to the launch of CSRlive.
Well, it's a great connection, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Well, Nidhi, you're becoming quite a role model to people. You already had some personal brand recognition, some face recognition. You've worked in television there in India, and so you're someone that people look up to. I wonder, who do you look up to for inspiration?
Well, Devin, my inspiration comes from a spiritual source. I've been a follower of Paramahansa Yogananda, who's the author of the world-famous spiritual classic, The Autobiography of a Yogi. And at a very young age, my father gave this book to me when I was 16, and it just blew me away. And from a teenager who's typically interested in having fun and partying, here's this book that opened my eyes to the world of yoga and spirituality. And what I loved about this great saint was that he talked about the science of religion, and he explained the scientific reason for doing every single thing that you do when you're meditating or you're doing yoga, and that greatly appealed to me. And it was very do-it-yourself. So you get these instructions, you follow them yourselves, you see the results for yourself, and that was just amazing for me. And taught me practical ways of how to live my life, how to be a good person, how to be a good business person, how to be a good journalist, how to be a good daughter, how to be a good wife. All of these things came from being on the spiritual path. And so I basically look up to my spiritual guru, Paramahansa Yogananda.
That's a wonderful connection to the world and to kind of the human family. I appreciate you sharing that. Nidhi, at a fundamental level, you kind of told us your story of how you connected to CSR, and I appreciate that, but I want to go just a layer deeper. Why do you care about other people? Why do you care about making the world a better place? Why do you care about advancing the work of the nonprofits and helping corporations do more CSR? What's your why? What fundamentally draws you to this work?
Well, this again takes me back to my spiritual, inclination. My guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, said that business is nothing but serving others in the best way possible. Now, when I started off as a professional, I came across this quote of my guru and I was like, okay, this is the way I need to lead my life as a professional. So whatever business I do, whatever be my work, it should be serving others in the best way possible. And so when I was a journalist, on TV, I used to try and do stories that were inspiring and positive. Even though I was a fashion journalist, but I tried to come out with something positive with that. I worked on interesting lifestyle stories, inspiring human stories. Then when I moved on to becoming a designer of clothes and t-shirts, the whole idea was that everybody involved in the project should benefit, including the end customer, so how to make the product truly ethical and sustainable. And finally, when I came back to journalism, it was the whole idea was that how can I serve people through journalism? And CSRlive is doing nothing but serving all the stakeholders of CSR and sustainability by just bringing all these amazing, inspiring stories. And I feel the only way you can make good happen in this world is by talking good. Talking about all the inspiring stories happening not only in this country but around the world, creating best possible benchmarks for global best practices. So I don't know why I care, but I really do care. It just comes inherently from me, from a habit of following this principle of business is nothing but serving others in the best way possible.
I think that's wonderful. Well, Nidhi, one last question for you. As you become successful, your career is having real impact in changing the world. And everyone who's watching this show has that in common. They all want to have more impact and do more good, whatever their role in life, whether they're social entrepreneurs or corporate executives doing CSR, or whether they're impact investors, whatever they're doing, they want to have more impact and do more good. I call these tips we get from people impact hacks. And I wonder if you would offer up an impact hack that you use to allow yourself to do more good and have more impact that we can copy.
Well, for me, it's just practice makes a man perfect. You just gotta keep working hard and keep at it. There are going to be trials, there are going to be challenges, which does not mean that you give up. You research more, you learn more, and try and connect with more people. And I think that's probably what I would do to make things work for me.
Great. Well, Nidhi, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. We appreciate your great work. We appreciate your partnership with us. We're excited to see that grow and develop. I wonder, Nidhi, if you would just take a minute and tell people how they can find and connect with you as they want to learn more about CSRlive.
Yes, Devin. They can come and connect with us on Twitter at CSRlive_in. And of course, visit our website, CSRlive.in. And you can get all your social media icons there and connect us with us there on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. And we look forward to seeing you there. Great.
Nidhi, thank you so much for being with us today. We wish you every success in the great work that you're doing.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you so much for chatting with us. It was really lovely speaking with you today.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Yes.